101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She's a certified life coach and quantum energy healer, no other than Miss Amy Pons. Welcome, Miss Amy, on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this wonderful world. I I love sharing more about not only my energy but also my story and yeah, who I am, like who are any of us, but not to be too philosophical first thing, but um you know, I grew up and spent the bulk of my life in more of the copy paste autopilot mode. And so the short story is I'm a 20-year corporate executive that remembered that her abilities in energy healing and coaching were actually the soul's mission, my soul's mission, and the reason I came here. So now I'm on this beautiful forefront of guiding humanity back to their own intuition or their first instincts before anyone else told them who to be or how to be. And that's of course through my coaching, but I'm also working with your energy to understand where you're trying to go and on your timeline, right? Because it's not about my agenda. So I'm a coach, I'm a healer, and I have a podcast as well, and I also teach magic school, which is again it's reigniting your intuition.
Interesting, Miss Amy, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. And let's talk about cosmic awakening. Let's start with the essence of the topic. How do you define a cosmic awakening? Is it a sudden event, a gradual process, or both?
Oh no. Oh gosh. It can be all the above. And it's also very individual to each unique soul. And really, what we're talking about with cosmic awakening is that it's remembering that you're a soul having a human experience, not the other way around. And a lot of times, for a lot of our lives, we are only taught about our human experience because that's what we're primarily, living from day to day. So, but what's interesting is astrologically this year there's been so much moving in the stars, literally, that we're literally entering into a new paradigm where more of the masses of humanity are remembering that soul element and ushering back in the balance between the energies. I like to call it like the new human energy because the masculine and feminine felt limiting to me, that we could be other only one or the other, or of course we have all of the energies. And it's considering how you want to show up. It's bringing back forth this cosmic awakening is getting back to the place where you remember literally why you came into this life. Like, what are you here to do? I'm love the Billie Eilish song, What Were You Made For? And again, getting into spirituality and whether you subscribe to it or not, there I personally believe my philosophy is that we did sign up for specific experiences, and that's why we came here physically. And then your entire life experience becomes lessons or growth or expansion into that soul um, that you came here to experience specifically as a human. For instance, on the soul plane, nothing's good or bad, right or wrong, everything just is. So imagine wanting to come to be a human so that you can feel things. And when you get here and you feel it and it doesn't feel very good, you're like, oh, why would I sign up for this? Well, that's the beautiful expansion part. And so it gets to be the it gets to be feeling your feels. We don't bypass. We feel everything. And then remembering that you still get, as a human, you have free will to discern how you want to continue with that feeling. Does it serve you? Is it expanding you? Great. And if it doesn't feel good, move through it and put it down. So it's the audacity or the notion to be and exist as both a human and a soul.
A human and a soul. So, what are the common catalysts for triggers that can initiate this kind of profound
Mm.
spiritual shift in a person's consciousness?
Oh my gosh, again, it varies by every single unique individual, but I'll share a little bit more about mine. I turned 40, and that was, it was, and I kept running into patterns from my childhood. So, growing up in a domestic violence home, I was always in the safe and the safe and familiar for me was having volatility, or not knowing when my next safe moment may be, or hypervigilance, or always, an unsettled nervous system. That was my kind of safe space. That was my familiar space, rather, not maybe not safe. That was my familiar space. And so I found that same familiar, unsafe space in the corporate world, where there was power over each other, and there was this feeling of not good enough and things like that. So I was quote unquote thriving for a long time in corporate because it's the vibe and the frequency that I was the most familiar and comfortable with. What ended up, interestingly, I started to get, as I call, like, I got a little stir. I was starting to stir. I'm like, do I want to do this job? Do I want to be um, in this environment where it feels kind of unsafe, kind of toxic? Do I want? I just started questioning things. I'm like, well, what would I do? What else would I do? I couldn't possibly do anything else. But I was having those interesting questions to myself. And this was probably around 5 years before I left corporate. So I was feeling this for a long time, this stirring. And what I ended up reaching into was I became the leader of the Women's Employee Resource Group at work, and I started coaching hundreds of women. And I was like, oh, okay, that feels really great. That feels amazing, because I have this ability to read energy and already understand where an individual is trying to go, and whose brain is maybe not quite ready, or doesn't feel enabled or empowered to actually start wondering that. So for me, I went through the motions for a long time, but that Women's Employee Resource Group was what kind of kept me in corporate, but also helped me to be standing in my light and understanding more about who I was. So then, when I began that stirring experience, I kept getting met with more workplace abuse situations. Well, those were my nudges, and it took me many years to kind of to get it. So my advice, when you start to experience this cosmic awakening, or this remembering, rather, of who you are on the soul plane or soul level, and you look around and there's not really anything that feels aligned to that soul's mission, you get to start, and this is where I come in as your ally and your guide. We start considering what it could be, what it could look like, what it could be, taking you from I couldn't possibly to maybe I could. And you start giving some space into that doorway of what's trying to get your attention. And I would say to you, one of the telltale, you said, signs or triggers that your awakening is coming in, is that you'll start to realize, or maybe you might start to see that patterns from your life keep coming in. That's not a mistake. That's not coincidence. That's someone trying to get your attention, whether it be guides, angels, source, universe, God, creator. Um, you're being asked to consider what else could there be out in this magnificent life for you. And again, it's not going to look the same all the time, but I would tell you the most consistent thing I see is either patterns coming back in, and this time you're like, oh, this has happened before, so you realize it, or you look around you and nothing like really feels good, whether it's your 9 to 5, whether it's your let's just say that the way you earn a living, family, friends, partners, nothing really feels good, and you're like, what's going on? That's the biggest ask, to turn inward and see what's trying to get your attention and what are you trying to remember. Because if nothing outside of you feels comfortable, familiar, or good anymore, that could be, first, that's jarring, admittedly. So get an ally, get someone that can help you. But also, it is the ultimate invitation that asks you, okay, there could be something else out here, or that you're being asked to do, and it doesn't necessarily align with or match anything that you're currently doing, which again, that can be a lot to grapple with. So,
How does a cosmic awakening differ from more traditional spiritual awakening? What makes the experience uniquely cosmic?
ah, um, I don't know that they're super different, but the cool part is when it's in the stars, when it's from an astrological cosmic perspective, it's actually happening in everyone, in every soul, whether we realize it or not. So, a spiritual awakening, someone might experience that completely on their own. This time of cosmic awakening, everyone's DNA is literally getting upgraded or changed at the cellular level. So we're all experiencing all at once, but not in the same way.
It's different from individual. And Miss Amy, let's talk about on the personal journey and transformation. Can you describe what early stages of this awakening felt like for you? Were the feelings of confusion, awe, or fear, or overwhelming connection?
Horror and anger.
And why is that?
Yeah. Well, because for me, back at that time, I was I was in that space where I knew it was my corporate job that wasn't a fit. I also knew it was some of my closest friends and family that weren't a fit, and that was scary to me. And I was mad because I'm like, well, I feel like I just figured my life out. What are you talking about? Like, what is this feeling that nothing is right? It felt like I had done all this work for nothing, or or that I had done all of this life up to 40 years for nothing. It's like, what is this about? I was so mad. I'm like, why do I have to change? Why do I have to do the work? Why do I have to heal? And make no mistake, you don't have to do anything. Remember, you have free will as a human. But
Interesting.
but if you don't consider why nothing around you feels comfortable anymore, if you don't give pause to that to consider, it is going to get so much more loud, more uncomfortable. And that gets you into a whole nother place where um, I just it's worth it. It's worth doing the work, doing your own personal work toward your soul's mission, whatever that looks like, is so worth it on the other side that you will get through the discomfort, the initial discomfort, whether it's for me horror and anger, um, and you get to a place where you've beautifully created the life that you were always meant to have and experience, but from such a peaceful place. And that again, nothing has to be good or bad, right or wrong. There's nothing you have to do. It's literally turning back inward and becoming or remembering or unmasking who you always were, but just giving the, like, having the audacity to do so.
Audacity to do. I like that, Miss Emmy. And what are the most challenging part of integrating this expanded awareness into your everyday mundane life,
Yeah.
Miss
You asked
Emmy?
like what you did you say
Yes.
what were the ways?
Yes. What was the
Oh,
challenging part?
what was the challenging part?
Yes. In integrating this expanded awareness in your everyday mundane life.
Well, so first of all, I think the things that as a human we set up goals for ourselves to achieve every single day, and if that doesn't happen, we feel bad about ourselves. Well, this kind of a this challenge, that this kind of awakening, this work is to consider that you weren't meant to meet that goal. It's a completely different mindset of how you approach life. If something that you really wanted didn't come to fruition, considering that it didn't happen on purpose. It's understanding that there are no coincidences, and this doesn't mean you have to, it's not, it doesn't mean that you bypass your feelings about something not being accomplished. You feel your feels, always feel your emotions, but it's again remembering that it's all happening for you, not to you. And the biggest challenge in that is that probably for me, it was the first entire year because I didn't want to, I didn't want to think that everything was predestined or fated, or that I didn't have free will or autonomy as a human to set goals for myself, which, by the way, it's both. You come here to learn lessons, expand your awareness, expand your consciousness, expand your soul, and you have full free will as a human. You get to choose. So that doesn't mean that everything is already pre planned for you because you have that beautiful free will.
Beautiful free will for sure. And Miss Amy, as a podcast host, a certified life coach, and quantum energy healer, what are your short term and long term goals?
Just like I do with my clients, as a quantum energy healer, what we literally do is we reach into the infinite quantum field and work with the version of you that is already experiencing what you want to feel. And we borrow or we ask that version of you what current version of you is needed to be able to come into that realization that that version of you is already experiencing. So I do the same thing with myself. If I want something in the short term or the long term, I sit with the version of myself that already has that, that's already experiencing that. And I see what she's up to. I see what she looks like. I see what her vibration or her frequency looks like, and I step into that more so that I can gain whatever, or what I can experience, whatever that short term or long term goal is. So, short term is really investing effort and time and energy and resources into my magic school, which is again reigniting a person's intuition to trust their first instincts again using fun tools. Long term, I would say long term, I'll be on big stages, big global stages, and not really stages actually. I'm going to be down in the crowd because there's no, I don't like being above people. Um, I'm going to be working the globe and being in retreats and being in sacred energy, feeling into all the magnificent experiences that we're meant to have in this life on this earth. And ultimately, my long term goal is to establish stewardship for myself, for my neighbor, and for the land.
For the land and good luck to your goals, Miss Amy, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Oh, well, first, be yourself. But I would say to you, if you're experiencing any degree of things feeling upside down, unfamiliar, some of the things that used to feel good even a month ago don't feel good anymore. You might feel like you're having, you know, mainstream might call it like a midlife crisis. I call it a midlife thriving. It's like, how can you consider that it's happening for you? Lean into the fear, lean into the pain, lean into the discomfort, and come find me so that I can help guide you through this experience and to help you be. I'm a wayfinder for your soul. I'm a wayfinder for your energy. And I show you how to embrace this in a way that doesn't make you feel that fear, that anger, that discomfort. You actually get to experience like the really great parts of it while you're feeling through the hard parts of it.
Thank you for that advice, Miss Amy. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Sure. Journey of Souls, and I thought I had it right here with me, and I do not. Um, oh, Journey of Souls by Newton. So this book is really, I choose this book because it starts to help you realize a little bit more about whether it be spirit guides or ancestors or angels that are trying to get your attention, or it also talks about the like soul contracts and different agreements you may have made on the soul plane before you got here to earth. So I really like Journey of Souls. It helps you understand so much more about the soul itself, and where it might be living within you.
Yes, indeed. Interesting, Miss Amy, and thank you for that recommended books. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Amy, finally, what is your greatest hope for individuals and for
Mm.
humanity as more people experience their own cosmic awakening?
That we return to a place where we are in community with each other and we remember that we're one consciousness, we're not actually separate. So, deep empathy, understanding, and compassion for one another so that we can create the existence that we all deserve.
Miss Amy, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world and hoping for more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast or anything that you want to promote on Book 101 Review?
Sure, thanks so much. Visit me at unlockthemagic.org and listen to Women Making Moves on any platform that you like to listen to. And check out Magic School. The next cohort is opening in December.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Amy Pons because if you support her for sure, more and more empowering advocacy to come and more sure, more empowering episode of the podcast itself or more episodes to come. So, Miss Amy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.